Good evening, young warriors. The mission, the revised mission. We attract personal excellence through the development of the skills that are required of us as hard chargers. None more important than that of our personal character, of our integrity. What good is it to have success in a career? What good is it to have success with the family if we don't have our character in check? Look, I don't claim to be one in the possession of character, only the pursuit. And I invite you to join me on that quest. Young warriors, tonight I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk on a trait. I'm going to go ahead and share a story. Send you out on your way with a challenge. The trait is responsibility. Taking responsibility. Being responsible for your actions. You've got to understand, it's vital. It's vital that you understand that it's unacceptable to live irresponsibly. When we're young, we have very little responsibility and all kinds of time. But what happens is as we age, as we become hard chargers, there's an expansion in responsibility, but not of time. I can't stress that enough. Take responsibility for your actions. Understand the seriousness of life. With that comes serious consequences. The United States ship, Indianapolis, the USS Indy. The USS Indianapolis was responsible for delivering the key components to the atom bombs that were dropped to end World War II on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. This ship went ahead and delivered these components to the Tinian Island and then came back down to Guam, the small island. I've been there, to Guam, and was dispatched to the Philippines for training. This ship left Guam, and lacking the technology that we've got today, it kind of left as a ghost ship. It was kind of unaccounted for. The ship traveling on its way, it got a little over 100 miles away from Guam. And it was passing over the Mariana Trench, referred to as the Challenger Deep. Now, the average depth of most oceans is 2 miles, give or take. This here was 7 miles deep. And somewhere down there was a Japanese submarine. 6 torpedoes were shot. Only 2 found their mark. The first one striking the bow of the ship, and the second striking midway on the starboard side, right near a fuel tank, creating an explosion and severing this ship, breaking it in half. This happened on July 30th, 1945 at 12 o'clock or 12:15 p.m. By 12:30, the ship was completely submerged. It was sunken. Of the 1,200, the roughly 1,200, 1,196 crewmen, only 900 of them made it safely to the water. 300 perished. And what began was a trial and dragons that I couldn't even imagine. The dragons of exposure, the dragons of dehydration. I find it ironic. They're surrounded by billions of gallons of water, but they can't drink it because the salt would shut down their system. The dragon of the sharks. The USS Indy, the sinking of the USS Indy was known as, it was the largest shark attack recorded in human history. And after 4.5 days, by accident, a plane flying over saw somebody. They dispatched help. And of the 900 men that were sent to the water, 317 survived and were pulled safely. One of those was Bob Lucas, who grew up. He lived next door to my grandparents on West 1st Street in Streeter, Illinois. Another one was a man who told me the story, Arthur Lienerman. He's the last surviving member in the state of Illinois. Lives about a half hour from here. And I sat knee to knee. And this wasn't the Discovery Channel. This wasn't the History Channel. I'm sitting here, young warriors, I'm sitting here speaking and listening to history talk. He was there. I'm not here just to share the story. I'm here to share the lesson. Do you think a guy like that would have something that would be worth hearing? See, I do. And he knows that I speak, that I share with young warriors. And at the end of the last visit, when I sat with him, I asked him, I said, Mr. Lienerman, I said, if you could give me one thing to share with young warriors with hard charges, what would that be? And he paused for a little bit, and he says, you tell them to become responsible. To become responsible. To take self-responsibility. To be the one where it says, you can count on me and mean it. Where your word is your bond. You're responsible. Where when you say you're going to do something, you do it. You can be counted on. You can be trusted. See, that's honor. Because Mr. Lienerman went on to say, he says, because if you cannot be responsible, if you cannot be counted on, you'll never have the perseverance. You'll never be able to knuckle down when you need to. And I learned what he means is when life leans in, and it will, and you face the dragons, you may not face the dragons of the shark attacks, and you may not face the dragons of dehydration and exposure, but you're going to face dragons. You've got to be armed with self-responsibility before you can act with resilience, with grit, before you can knuckle down. Young warriors, I believe in you. Man, I believe in you. My challenge is to go out and look on how you can act with responsibility. Go out and look for reasons to make a commitment and stick to it. To give your word and mean it and have it mean something. To go out and make a difference. Young warriors, there's a world waiting to be changed. The only thing between you and it are dragons. That's inevitable. Go out and slay those dragons. I believe in you. I'm out.